ESPN's afternoon college football presented by PlayStation View. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. From Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, it's the 62nd meeting between Florida State and Miami. The Seminoles have dominated this series of late, winning the last 7 games, but FSU comes into today 1-2, while Miami is undefeated and ranked 13th. And hi, everybody. Alongside Greg McElroy, I'm Dave Pasch. We'll get to Tom Luganville in a minute. Greg, you know all about playing in rivalry games, having played in the Iron Bowl at Alabama. So what is going through the hearts and minds of these players right now?
This is what you play for. This is why you play college football, and this is what makes college football the greatest sport in the world. You get one chance, and especially for those rivalry games that are located within the state, you have to live with the circumstances of that outcome in that game for the next 365 days. I love this matchup, and I love this rivalry, Tom, between these two quarterbacks.
Well, there's no doubt these two quarterbacks, Malik Rosier, the Miami quarterback, may have a couple of years on the young true freshman from Florida State, James Blackman. But in a game of this magnitude, a rivalry of sorts, you got to manage emotions when you're dealing with young, inexperienced quarterbacks. That's what Mark Richt and Jimbo Fisher have to do today through the course of 4 quarters.
Yeah, Blackman playing obviously in this rivalry for the first time as a true freshman. Rosier playing in it as well for the first time, making his 5th career start. Florida State ready to take the field. Again, this game was moved because of Hurricane Irma. They were supposed to play it September 16th. So everybody's had to wait a little while for another chapter in this great rivalry. Florida State started the year 0-2, lost to Alabama week 1 and lost its quarterback DeAndre Francois to a season-ending injury. And the Noles finally got their first win of the season at Wake Forest last week. Miami 3-0. But have the Canes played anybody? Wins over Bethune-Cookman, Toledo, and at Duke. Well, some people say this rivalry's lost some luster. I don't know. The bottom line is these two teams still hate each other. Bad blood is great. Moments ago, Chief Osceola and Renegade to midfield with the spear. Miami was waiting in the tunnel to come running out and did right on contact. The Canes finally took the field. Miami won the toss and elected to defer. So Florida State will start with the football. Jimbo Fisher has not lost to the Hurricanes since taking over as head coach. 7 straight wins for Florida State over Miami. Now the Hurricanes overall have won 8 consecutive games, with Oklahoma's loss at home to Iowa State. Mark Richt's team now has the 3rd longest win streak in the country. Their last defeat was against Notre Dame last October. Michael Badgley will kick it deep. And Derwin James and Keith Gavin are the return men. James had a touchdown called back last week, but they keep it away from him. And here's Gavin for FSU. And he's past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So James Blackman, true freshman quarterback from just north of Miami in Belle Glade. The first true freshman quarterback to start for Florida State since 1985. Chip Ferguson was the quarterback then, and Mark Richt was a GA at Florida State. In fact, Richt has not coached in this venue since he was the offensive coordinator back in 2000. James Blackman was a year old then. And they run the ball on first down. Past the 35-yard line. Jacquez Patrick still going. Patrick all the way near the Miami 40. What a great way to start the game if you're Nole. 35 yards.
Establish the line of scrimmage is the first priority for this Florida State offense. They come out, heavy formation, heavy set, big personnel. and take the fight right to the Hurricanes to start this game.
Patrick, a junior from Orlando, at 100 yards last week. Here's a swing pass to Nyquan Murray, able to stay in bounds and pushed out after a gain of about 3 on the play. Well, you've watched a lot of tape on Blackman. What have you seen so far? Did some things really well last week in their win.
He looks like a freshman. Some really good moments, but also some moments that leave you scratching your head. He's trying to make sure that there aren't as many peaks and valleys, just be more consistent throughout the ball game.
Again, you saw only 121 yards last week, but had the play of the game. Jimbo Fisher told us he's picking things up quickly, though, for a true freshman. On 2nd and 7, Blackman pumps, throws into traffic. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Well, James Blackman, the young freshman quarterback out of Glade Central High School in Belglade, Florida. That's in South Florida now. That's Miami territory. And this is a program that routinely produces NFL talent year in and year out, but they haven't produced quarterbacks. This is going to be the first time we've seen a major contender at the quarterback position at a Power 5 school out of Glade Central. Bright future for this young man.
See how he does here, Tom, in 3rd down and 7 at the 37-yard line of Miami. Blackman forced out of the pocket. An excellent job by Miami downfield covering, and then Chad Thomas chasing Blackman out of play. It's 4th down. Now they do have a kicker in Ricky Aguayo who can kick it this far. The question is, do you want to do that on your first possession? Do you punt or do you go for it on 4th and 7? He's keeping the offense on the field.
They can at least give it some time to think about it. I'd punt and play field position at this point. Certainly don't want to give Miami opportunistic field position, so I'd punt, allow my great defense to take the field against an inexperienced quarterback in Miami, backed up. Hopefully, if in fact this punt lands in a good spot for the Noles.
Barrios lets it go over his head. It checks up at about the 4-yard line. Great job by Logan Tyler, the sophomore. Miami quarterback Malik Rosier from Mobile, Alabama. He's 4-0 as a starter. Takes over for Brad Kaya. Now, 2 of those wins were against Duke, and one was in that crazy 8 lateral game 2 years ago. But last week against Duke, he was outstanding. He did have a pick, but had 2 touchdown passes, almost 300 yards through the air, and he also ran for a score.
It's his athleticism that really adds a new dimension to Mark Richt's offense.
He's got a great security blanket standing next to him, too. And Mark Walton, one of the top running backs in college football. But is Walton healthy? He's been battling an ankle injury all season. We'll find out here. Walton to the 10-yard line. Gives him a little bit of room. Gain of close to 7 on the play. Rosier's mom, Dana Hudson, is here, along with stepfather Ron Hudson, making the 6-hour trek from Miami. That's sunny skies here. Never expected that. They almost moved this game again because of another hurricane. As Rosier's pass is deflected and incomplete. He was trying to set up the screen, and boy, he almost threw a pick 6.
Outstanding job by Josh Sweat, number 9. You'll see he's looping around. He sees that Rosier is going to drop into a screen type of drop. Rosier decides to throw a missile, a fastball, instead of trying to float it over the top. Good play by the defender.
Needed a changeup.
Or a knuckleball, anything over the top.
And Josh Sweat, 6'6", hard to get it over that outstretched arm. 3rd and 3. And Walton is swallowed by DeMarcus Christmas. 4th down. It all started with that great punt, pinning the Hurricanes deep, and now they got to kick it out of their own end. And Tavares McFadden, very dangerous with a football in his hands. And a true freshman punter in Zach Fiegels. You wonder what his nerves are like right now, kicking in this rivalry for the first time. And he almost got that blocked. Terrific punt, goes out of bounds around the 43. It's a 48-yard boot for Fiegels.
Rivalries are all about passion and emotion. You see the big fella, Christmas, come early.
Miami daring him to do that, stack in the box with 8 guys. They try to run into that 8-man front. Patrick with a great reversal, and he's got room. Gets a block from his quarterback, and into Miami territory. He ripped off a 30-yard run on the first drive. That one goes for 30 again. 39 officially.
This is all because number 22 right there, Sheldrick Redwine. He loses contain. Nothing there inside, and he loses track of Patrick as he got around the edge on the left-hand side. You got to be smart when going against these heavy sets that Florida State will throw at you.
29. Check that officially on the run. First down at the 45-yard line. And this time it is the true freshman Cam Akers, and he is tackled for a loss of 5 on the play. Malik Young in run support from his cornerback spot.
Little corner cat off the edge there, huh, Greg?
Yeah, they'll bring it. They'll bring it now. Manny Diaz defensively, the defensive coordinator for Miami. He preaches chaos, 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 and disruption. He'll bring pressures from all over the place. Safeties, corners, linebackers. On any down and distance, anything's possible. You've got to keep your head on the swivel as a quarterback.
He's another former Seminole. He was a coach here at Florida State. He was a GA. Blackman throws incomplete. Trying to hit Gavin. So it'll be 3rd down and 15.
You see Jimbo Fisher on the sideline gesturing to James Blackman about ball placement. That ball was coming out of his hand 100 miles an hour, and it goes back to what you touched on the last drive, Greg. You got to have some nuance to your throws. Can't be JV one snap and varsity the next.
He'll learn. Every snap is a new opportunity. This young man's going to be fun to watch as he grows over the years.
3rd and 15. See what the freshman does here. Looking downfield, and it's tipped at the line, but a flag comes in late as Blackman got hit. Michael Jackson.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 28. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's a huge play, obviously, for Florida State there, as they were going to be off the field offensively.
Absolutely can't do it if you're Michael Jackson. That's the easiest call that official will make all day. Clearly, the ball is gone. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage by Demetrius Jackson. Well played defensively. You're off the field, especially on 3rd and 15.
Yeah.
And then you give the Noles a fresh set of downs. You can't do that against quality competition.
I know it's a rivalry game. You're jacked up to play, but you got to hold your water. You just hurt your team. First down at the 35. And a huge running lane for Blackman, who dives to the 22-yard line. 13-yard pickup.
You see number 34 on the end of the line of scrimmage. He runs down with the zone read fake, which allows nothing but green grass to the outside for Blackman. Charles Perry took the cheese and allows the true freshman to get out in some free space. Well done. He doesn't run it often, but when he does, you got to be decisive north and south.
All right, the 24-yard line now. It's time to hand it off. Off the left side goes Patrick. Jacquez Patrick running all over this Miami defense so far. That's the 3rd big carry for Patrick, and it's a gain of about 12.
This running game is starting to feel itself after last week. They played a couple great run defenses in NC State and Alabama. Now they are starting to see some opportunities up front in the run game. They got to continue to commit to it.
Patrick again, 235 pounds between the tackles, gets 2 on the play. Joe Jackson on the stop.
Greg, you got to be impressed with the Florida State offensive line to this point. This is a unit that has been subject to much criticism, both internally and publicly, and they're going against the defensive front 7 with Miami. Those 3 linebackers, Michael Pinckney and Shaquille Quarterman and Zach McLeod, they have not been able to make plays and get off of second-level blocks.
And up front, Tom, they were banged up after last week. 3 guys, Derek Kelly, Landon Dickerson, and Cole Minshew, all a little bit beat up after the Wake Forest game. Answering the call now.
Off play action. Blackman looking. Enzo got a man, but he overthrew the intended receiver, Naquan Murray. Nooney, as they call him, got free in the back of the end zone. Maybe the nerves got to Blackman on the throw. He had him.
He did. And the windows get tighter as you get close to the end zone. And Blackman, they're going to come after him every single snap. This Miami defense is aggressive. They're physical. And they're trying to affect the quarterback. Blackman has to be more accurate in the red zone when the windows are small and the timing is tight.
Chad Thomas said, "You're a true fresh. I'm going to just drive your helmet into the ground." Make you think twice when I come at you next time.
Little gamesmanship.
Happens in a rivalry game, of course, 3rd and 8. And they're going to keep it on the ground with Patrick. Interesting call there. That's got to show that Jim Fisher doesn't trust Blackman yet, and also maybe he expects this to be a low-scoring game, right? I mean, why else would you just hand it off there at 3rd down?
You just don't trust your quarterback. And you run it to the middle of the field, too, to make the field goal a little bit more makeable for Aguayo, who's been ice water throughout the course of his career for the most part.
Tell you what, too, Greg, is you've won the field position battle. Get points while you're on a short field.
Absolutely right, Tom.
27-yard attempt for Aguayo's made his last 8 kicks. And that one is on the money, and Florida State with the early lead.
Mark Walton is a star, the running back for Miami. You see him going through the pregame, working that right ankle, no problems. And then you get to the left ankle, not quite the same look. He's been banged up to this point of the season. Still been very productive, but he hasn't been quite as explosive or powerful as he was a year ago. We'll keep an eye on that left ankle and see if it affects him moving forward throughout this game.
He's number 2 in the country in yards per carry and number 5 nationally in yards rushing. Overall, 403. Florida State strikes first with a short field goal by Aguayo. And now a touchback. Miami will start at the 25. So 1st down for Miami on its 20-yard line. Mark Walton is back in, and he gets the call here off the left side. He lowers the shoulder and runs over Westbrook. He's 200 pounds. Mark Walton able to lower the shoulder there and pick up 5 yards.
And that's the type of run right there where that left ankle will be tested. He's running from right to left, kind of running a loop. That left ankle is going to be tested on those perimeter runs to the left. Looked just fine on that one.
Here's Walton again trying to find a hole. It's not there. Good job up front by Florida State. They'll give him a yard, so 3rd down coming up.
Miami's got to start making some hay on 3rd down, Greg. They have just been abysmal getting the ball past the yard to gain, and they haven't been able to complete any passes downfield on 3rd down.
3rd and 4 for Miami. Some movement up front. No flag. Rosier trying to pick it up with his feet, and he's able to get the 1st down. So this game here in 2017 we thought would be all about defense, and that's the story through 1 quarter in Tallahassee. 3-0 Florida State. Well, for Miami to be successful, it has to run the football. It did not in that 1st quarter. In fact, 24 yards total for the Hurricanes. Florida State had 124, had the ball for over 10 minutes, but only 3 points, so that's disappointing if you're a Seminole fan. Meanwhile, Malik Rosier making his 5th career start for Miami. Just got a 1st down with his feet from the 32. Walton again can't find a hole. Able to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Brian Burns on the stop. Taco Bell, a proud partner of the college football playoff. Be on the lookout for Taco Bell student sections and passionate fans like these at games all season long. And just being around Tallahassee the last couple of days, we've seen a lot of houses divided. We saw just today at breakfast several married couples, one wearing a Seminole outfit and the other the U. Single coverage. Amon Richards, one of the top young receivers in college football, picks up close to 15 on the play. Just his 4th catch of the year because he missed the first 2 games of the season with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, they need to get him involved You see early in the second quarter, say we got to get our stars going. We got Walton going a little bit. We got to get Rosier dialed into the passing game, and let's find 82 for a couple plays.
Back to the ground. Again, nothing for Walton. Able to stretch forward and get maybe 2.
They need to keep finding Amon Richards, number 82, because that time he was lined up against number 8, Stanford Samuels, who they really like, but he's just a true freshman. And that is not a matchup that Florida State wants to be in all day on defense.
And now he's going to be going to the other side.
That's right. There you
to go against Tavares McFadden.
That's
one
the
of the
matchup
best
they want.
corners in the game.
I think it's a matchup we may be seeing for a lot of years to come.
Some pressure coming on the left side here.
At the next level, both guys considered prospects. Rosier's pass, there was contact before the ball arrived by Florida State. Pass was intended for Cager. Samuels, a true freshman, looked like he got there before the ball, but no flag.
Yeah, he's trying to work a little bit of an in route, and there was a little contact. The receiver, a little ginger coming out of it too. Cager, he's got to burst across on that in breaker and allow his quarterback some space to work. Bad route by Cager.
Rosier, who was named the starting quarterback 11 days before the opener on 3rd and long. Wow, that was ugly. I don't know what happened there. Derwin James trapped it. It's incomplete. That came out of his hand funny. 4th down.
This is one of those where Rosier is looking at his wide receiver. He's like, I got him, I got him, I got him. Oh wait, number 3, no. Try to pull the trigger. You see he's just kind of tries to stop himself from letting go of it. The ball dies like a sinker.
Wishes that was on a yo-yo string, Greg.
I'll tell you what, that happens though. Even some of the best ones get fooled in coverage.
Here's Fiegels to punt, and may have gotten blocked, may have gotten tipped there. It works out well. Rolls down near the 12-yard line, so 39-yard punt. Brian Burns, who already blocked a punt this year, the 2nd time in his career, may have gotten a piece of that one. Here in Tallahassee, it is 3-0 Florida State. You see Miami with just 40 yards of total offense. Seminoles with their first drive of the second quarters. First down to the 17 for Florida State. Off the left side goes Jaquez Patrick. Another terrific scamper by Patrick for 9. They just need 2 here to get a first down. Akers trying to get outside. And he gets the first down. Another big hit in the secondary between D. Delaney and the running back Akers.
And getting back to Akers, it was funny talking to Jimbo Fisher yesterday. He said, man, when he doesn't score a touchdown on every single snap, it's like he's disappointing you. That's what he's done the last 4 years as a star in Mississippi. So now when he's going against guys that are equal in talent, it's okay to gain 7 yards. It's not a bad place. He's learning, but man, is he going to be a good one here in the years to come.
7 yards, you'll be 5th in the country in yards per carry. He gets about 5 or 6 here.
There it is. That's what you want right there.
Yeah, and finishing runs north and south. And don't try to run to the outside the way you've always done. But Tom, you said it. When you're a quarterback and you're doing zone read schemes, which is exactly what Cam Akers did when he was a high school player, your whole world is on the perimeter.
Right.
You're outside the tackles all the time. Now that he's having to run between, it takes some nuances and some learning to get on the level of some of the great backs we've seen in years past here in Tallahassee.
Akers again, and this time he's drilled by Michael Pinckney. Remember last year you had the 3 linebackers for Miami, Quarterman, Pinckney, and McLeod. They were all true freshmen starting for Miami.
Got to be impressed here with Jimbo Fisher. Guys, Jaquez Patrick goes down, and you line up, and you hand it to the young true freshman in 3 consecutive plays.
Now 3rd and 5, so they're trying to keep Blackman in 3rd and medium. Obviously they love 3rd and short, but he's 0 for 6 on 3rd down. Did have a drop earlier by Gavin. Blackman, and Gavin making the catch. Out near midfield. 14 yards on the pickup.
A great job by James Blackman. You see the pressure coming around the edge. They decide to bring Pinckney and vacate the middle of the field with that zone pressure. It's exactly the area of the field that they work. A good job by the quarterback recognizing that green grass and finding his receiver in stride.
From the Seminole 47-yard line. Akers trying to find a hole. He does. And tripped up by Jaquan Johnson. Otherwise, he may have had that big run. He's still got 8.
Well, this is the best Cam Akers has looked. This drive right here. This is the best I've seen him early in his college career. You see that decisive one-cut running that we saw for so many years from Dalvin Cook. Some people think that Cam Akers, his future could resemble that of the former Noles star.
Cook now with the Vikings, obviously dealing with injury there in Minnesota this year. Unfortunate. First down and more for Akers. Inside the Miami 40. Both Patrick and Akers and that offensive line, you mentioned it earlier, Greg, banged up on the left side, but right now they're owning the line of scrimmage, just leaning on that Miami front.
Yeah, they are. That running game is really starting to get going, and that's exactly what Jimbo Fisher has always done. Yeah, he's had great quarterbacks, 3 first-rounders, but it's about the run game. That's the starting point.
They have all their timeouts. They're inside the Miami 40-yard line, but here's a good play by Chad Thomas. Wrapping up Akers for a loss. They came in averaging 9 tackles for a loss per game. They've already had a handful, including 3 sacks. Second-year D coordinator Manny Diaz, former student at Florida State.
Jarquez Patrick back in the game now at tailback, guys.
He has to come in for 2nd and 14. Blackman a throw. And underneath to Patrick. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. So 3rd and long coming up.
I tried to get with a little Vegas screen, but no pressure coming from Miami. The linebackers were easily able to rally to the throw. You got to be smart with the clock here too. I think Jimbo Fisher obviously thinking about letting that clock run all the way down, so if in fact they do have to give it back to Miami, it will be with minimal time and only 1 timeout.
Run play here. Just try to get a chunk.
I would throw it. I would throw it. And I would throw it downfield. That's what James Blackman does best early in his career.
He's going to throw it on 3rd down and 15. And over the middle, it's picked off. He threw it way over the head of the tight end Ryan Izzo, and Michael Jackson with a diving interception. Caught it with his glove. And they're trying to get the turnover chain. I mean, look, he's jumping up and down saying, where's my chain? They give a necklace each time you get a turnover, and Michael Jackson's got it right now.
Just make sure he caught it. This ACC crew will look at it from every angle. Doesn't catch it initially, but does he secure it before he hits the ground? Appears like he does.
That's their 6th takeaway this year. And now Miami with possession, but they haven't moved the ball at all, and they only have 1 timeout left.
Yeah, those early timeouts that they had to burn on 4th downs of all things, coming back to bite them.
Rosier unloads downfield, and it is incomplete. Berrios couldn't hang on. Right, Rosier throws. It's nearly intercepted by Derwin James, stepping in front of the receiver. James, one of the best safeties in the country, missed most of last year with a knee injury. Last time Miami scoreless in the first half, that was 2 years ago against North Carolina on the road. They got blown out. That was before Mark Richt's arrival. Now 3rd and 10. Florida State's thinking we might get the ball back here. So let's see what Mark Richt calls here. Does he play it safe and just hand it off? Rosier has really struggled. 4 of 15 passing. Would you let him sling it here if you're Mark Richt?
I'd run it.
coming after him. Gets rid of it. Almost intercepted again. McFadden. There's a penalty marker down. He gets tangled up with Amon Richards. Flag was thrown in the backfield. Brian Burns got pressure.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 9. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, Miami had one of those earlier. Now it's Florida State's turn for the dumb penalty to keep the drive alive late in the quarter.
Oh, that was close. That was bang, bang. It's not often that you see a call made like that. That certainly wasn't egregious.
I think that's a bad call,
I
Greg.
think so too, Tom.
That's the act of the tackle.
And that's coming from two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
For the first time this year, 3 guys agree, because I'm with you guys. On first down, Rosier sack. And no flag. Josh Sweat. Just a second sack of the year after 7 last year. One of the top recruits in the country a couple years ago. And a timeout called here by Miami. That is the final timeout by the Hurricanes. Well, if you're Florida State, I mean, you're 0-2 for the first time in 3 decades. You go to play a Wake Forest team that's really good defensively. You sneak out of there with a win. And you got a true freshman quarterback, and you're playing lights out defensively right now.
Yeah, but you knew that your defense was going to be exceptional coming into the year. All the personnel back, all the stars, all the players that have a lot of long future ahead of them on Sundays. Now they're having to lean on them because of the injury to Francois. But you start to see the running game getting going too, which has got to be a sign that this team's starting to understand who they are. Their defense, they can lean on them, but that run game could become pretty special if this offensive line continues to improve. But Miami hasn't had much of a pulse offensively all day.
First sack of the game for FSU. Rosier running here, trying to get some yardage back. That's interesting. They called the timeout. Now let's see if they hustle 3rd and long, or if they just say, you know what, we're just going to let the clock run down here. Had 12 guys on the field at one point. 3rd and 13. Rosier going downfield. Oh, he had a man, but he overthrew Lawrence Cager. There was a defender who was barreling down on Cager, but he was open.
He had him for a minute. But man, that's a tough throw. A very tough throw. And that's a small window considering the ball's traveling 40 yards downfield. Rosier tried to make it, probably pressing a little bit. He's lucky he didn't throw his wide receiver into a massive blow up in the back end.
Rosier, 2 of his last 13, and you saw that they haven't run a play in Miami territory. So the fair catch made by McFadden with 3 seconds left. Let's see if Florida State lets Blackman, who has decent arm, to throw it deep, or if they just take a knee and go to halftime with a 3-0 lead.
I think you kneel on it, especially given the way Miami's been able to get after the passer today. Already 3 sacks registered by the Canes defense. So kneel on it, go into halftime feeling good about what your team's done to this point.
Plus, if you get it picked off deep, remember Miami's got that lateral thing mastered. I don't know if you want that to happen again. 3-0 Florida State at halftime. Let's go back to the studio. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Florida State leads Miami as we get ready for quarter number 3. 3-0. The Noles trying to get back to 500. Miami trying to stay unbeaten. The opposite of gaudy numbers in the first half for both teams. 54 yards of offense for Miami. Now they had the ball half the amount of time that Florida State, and the Seminoles could only muster 163 and a field goal. We'll see what kind of adjustments both offensive-minded head coaches make here, if they can make them with their personnel. Tyler's kick will result in a touchback, and Miami will start on the 25. 1959. That's the lowest scoring game in the series. You weren't around, because I know I wasn't around. Our parents may not have been around either. That was 7-6, by the way, in case you're wondering. Miami won it. Bad offense, really good defense, combination of both.
Combination of both. You have to give credit to what these defenses are doing. At the line of scrimmage, they are not getting pushed around whatsoever, especially when you look at what Florida State is doing defensively, who will get the start here in the second half. These two defensive tackles, both Noddy and Christmas, have been a handful for the Canes to this point.
They come out throwing here. It's deflected and almost picked off by Matthew Thomas. Wow.
Man, Matthew Thomas, talk about reading eyes really quick. Rosier's eyes to the left. Thomas drops right underneath the stop route on the left-hand side, almost picks it off. Just too much juice on the ball from Rosier.
You got to wonder about the health of Mark Walton. They're coming out throwing it on first down, and Rosier is 4 of 17. You're going to throw it again here. Berrios out in space, and it's a good pickup. Banged out a play at the 48-yard line. Derwin James on the hit, gain of about 8.
And I think they're throwing it because they recognize that they have a significant disadvantage in the trenches right now. Based on the way the first half played out, running the ball is not the answer because of these defensive tackles and this defensive front seven for Florida State.
Rosier sling it, and he's looking downfield. How did the receiver get open? Amon Richards on 3rd and 20 down the sideline, and they move the sticks 33 yards.
How did a receiver get open? How did Miami's best receiver get open is the better question. McFadden just in a cover 2. His responsibility is the flat. The safety's late getting over the top. It's a big-time throw from Rosier.
Rosier will keep it here off the left side. He's got running room. Gets a huge block. It was Richards unloading an A.J. Westbrook. And that gets the Cane fans fired up. Westbrook is hurt.
What a hit.
Is that legal?
It is, but that is a lot of contact. You can see he lowers his head. It's all on the shoulder.
He was in front of him.
He's in front of him. It's legal. It's within the rules. It's just a bang-bang collision. And credit Miami and this wide receiver group. Over the last couple years, they've been one of the best blocking wide receiver groups I've seen in college football.
Back in a moment. Look at Miami on this drive. More yards here than they had the entire first half. After the run by Rosier at 2nd down and 2. Walton's first touch of the 3rd quarter, and he's spun forward by Josh Sweat close to the first down at the 15-yard line.
Walton, we referenced it in the first half. He's been nursing an ankle injury. The left ankle just doesn't have the same level of explosiveness that we've seen from him over the years. He's just a little hesitant when he hits the hole. Something to watch here in the next 30 minutes of this ball game.
Only his 7th carry of the game for 13 yards. On first down, it's Rosier keeping it. Sweat on the takedown, so just a couple of yards for Rosier. Again, this is just the 5th career start. We talked a lot about Blackman for Florida State, his inexperience at quarterback. This is Rozier's first time in the rivalry. And he started one game 2 years ago, and Brad Kai was hurt. Won all 3 games he's played so far this year as a starting quarterback. But obviously this is the biggest test so far.
And the first time in a truly hostile environment. Tallahassee, one of the toughest places to play.
Rosier has a couple rushing touchdowns on the year. On 2nd and 9. Pulls it back. Throws end zone, and he had Berrios. He just threw it wide of him. So it's 3rd down and 9. Be about a 30-yard field goal attempt from here if they are unable to convert.
He had Berrios in the back of the end zone, but man, there was some push up front that made it difficult for Rosier to follow through on his throw, which caused it to drift. Now, here in 3rd and 9, I think Rosier has to drop back and try to find Amon Richards, 82. They connected for a big 3rd down conversion earlier in the drive, and he's his best weapon offensively.
Bottom of your screen matched up on McFadden. Florida State showing blitz. Here they come on 3rd and 9. And Rosier, it was deflected at the line, it appeared, and then almost intercepted by McFadden. So it's 4th down.
He Tried to find Richards. And a great job by McFadden closing that gap. That was well covered. Not a lot of places to go with it. Ball came out a little funny. I don't know if it for sure was tipped.
Yeah, it did.
It was. That was Irma Lane, guys, the former wide receiver, number 7, the safety in the gap there.
Actually, that was a great play.
31-yard try. Badgley to tie the game. And we're even at 3 apiece.
Florida State 3, Miami 3.
Miami ties the game with a short field goal. And now the kickoff was through the end zone for a touchback. First half. Play action. Blackman being chased. Good job by the tight end not to hold. Blackman's pass. Dangerous throw. It's picked off. D. Delaney on the interception. And Miami takes over in Florida State territory. And they're getting the chain ready. The turnover chain is coming out again. Second takeaway for the Canes.
Blackman getting out and making a very bad decision. Throwing into double coverage to the corner route. He had a wide receiver about 6 yards from the line of scrimmage standing right on the boundary, which would have been a massive, massive play if he would have just taken it right there. There was no one around. Delaney dropped way out underneath. And you give it to one of these Florida State wide receivers in space. Who knows what they're going to do with it? What a bad decision from the true freshman.
Walton trying to pick a hole, reverses field, and is swarmed by Florida State defenders. Lane leading the charge, so it's a loss of a yard on the play.
So impressed with this Florida State defense. Not only are they gifted physically, but they play so well within the scheme. They contain runners. They don't get out of their gap along the front. And then they rally to the football when a ball carrier is about to be stopped. Really fun to watch this group, and they're going to continue to improve.
They've won 7 in a row against Miami. Last win for the Canes was here in 2009. And here's a deep ball into the end zone. Overthrown and intercepted. Picked off by the true freshman, Stanford Samuels, in the end zone for a touchback.
Just when Miami had seized all the momentum, Florida State's defense comes up big again. This time, the freshman Samuels securing the pick.
Craig talked about momentum being stalled because of the review, and then on the next play, it's an interception by Rosier, so Florida State takes over on the 20-yard line, and they run the ball, and falling forward is true freshman Cam Akers for 2 yards to the 22.
And it's important to note the ACC officiating crew, the replay officials, the people back in Greensboro headquarters, they did the right thing, but it kills the offense's momentum, and it's tough to retain.
Akers finds running room past the 20-yard line. He gets 12 yards there. Big run on second down when they needed a chunk play.
Huge run. Right there. Had some contact in the backfield. He put his foot in the ground and went right up the gut for a nice gain to set up third and manageable. We haven't seen Tate get involved much in the passing game. At some point, they got to get their big star wide receiver, Auden Tate, involved. You see he's on the motion.
Battling a shoulder injury. Here's a screen, and Patrick can't come up with it. Oh, he gets drilled after the whistle. They throw the flag, but I don't know that that's right. I don't know that Michael Pinckney, the Miami linebacker, knew exactly what had taken place. He thought it was a fumble, and that's why he came and drilled Jacquez Patrick.
It doesn't matter if he knew or not. Still should be a penalty.
There is no foul on the play. The result of the play is an incomplete pass.
I don't think they get it right there.
Wow, I think that should be a penalty. I understand, look, intent, all that stuff. He didn't mean to hit Patrick late.
But he doesn't unload on him here, really. He tries to hold up at the last. He doesn't go for the head or anything. It's not a defenseless play.
It's still 2 steps away. That should be a call. It should be a call, and I'm an offensive guy. I understand that as a former quarterback, but right there, Pinckney was late. I know he didn't intend to do anything wrong, but what he did was in fact wrong, and I think it should have been rewarded with a fresh set of downs for Florida State, given the contact that was had.
I'm not so sure he didn't think he fumbled it.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, I think he thought that's why he hit him so hard. Line drive. Berrios from the 35-yard line. Penalty marker down, as there is in just about every kick. Berrios inside the 40-yard line. Berrios tackled at the 20. The official picked up the flag.
There wasn't a penalty.
Hey, he meant to throw his marker
flag,
down.
but he meant to throw the beanbag.
Yep.
Which, it's a little different meaning. The beanbag is when the ball changes possessions or when it's a fumble. He threw the flag instead.
But I think Florida State saw that. And when you see the flag thrown,
And look at the official.
you assume it's coming back.
You can see the flag fly in there, but he ran right to it, embarrassingly enough, grabbed the flag, put it in his pocket, and then threw the beanbag.
Hoping nobody would see it.
But you got to think Florida State did. That had to have impacted the play.
You see the beanbag located right next to that flag on his right hip. That time, the beanbag's on his left hip now. I think he might have had it on the wrong side. Big return, though, from Berrios nonetheless.
First down at the 21-yard line of Florida State. Pass play. Rosier looking end zone. Back shoulder throw. Berrios touchdown, Miami. Braxton Berrios with a touchdown catch in every game so far this season for Miami. First player since Andre Johnson. Their stories are a little different. Andre Johnson, highly recruited, multiple Pro Bowls in the NFL. Braxton Berrios had 12 catches all of last year. He had the great punt return to set up his own touchdown catch. And the point after makes it 10-3 Canes.
We talked about Rosier dealing a hot hand. How about Braxton Berrios, the punt return, and then getting rewarded with the seam route and the back shoulder catch. Rozier's loving it. So are the Canes.
Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, Tom Luganbill here in Tallahassee. The first touchdown of the game comes at the 6:57 mark, and Miami in front after trailing 3-0 at halftime. And while Gavin stutter steps, takes it out and should not have. He gets leveled at the 10-yard line. Patrick trying to cut it back, taken down for a loss. It was Shaq Quarterman. And Miami among the nation's leaders in tackles for loss. They get another one there. So obviously Florida State struggling offensively. It makes it a lot worse now because you're behind the sticks.
Yeah, and really I'm surprised too. Florida State had success in the first half using their fullback and using multiple tight ends. We haven't seen that yet to this point in the second half. And here they are again in 11 personnel with 3 wide receivers on the field.
That pass juggled and then pulled in by Izzo. Did a nice job to secure it at the 21, so that'll put him in third and manageable. Haven't seen many third and short situations for the true freshman James Blackman.
And I think getting him on the perimeter with a run pass option might be the best thing for him in this particular spot. Getting him on the edge and allowing him to see out in front of him and allow him to be a little bit more comfortable if they do decide to throw here.
He's got Patrick with him in the backfield. They fake the jet sweep. Blackman breaks a tackle, dives, and has the first down. The kid made a play there.
Yeah, he
avoided
did.
the sack.
Yeah, he did. What a play. Nothing there defensively. They tried once again to get him outside the pocket. It just makes you so much more comfortable as a passer, seeing the throwing lanes when you're outside the tackle box. And good thing James Blackman is 6'5" and change, because if he was any shorter, I'm not sure he would have gotten it. Manny Diaz disgusted.
3 quarters down, 1 to go here in the 62nd meeting between Florida State and Miami. The difference in the ball game, Braxton Berrios with the lone touchdown. 10-3 Canes after 3. Welcome back to ESPN's Afternoon College Football. Start of the 4th quarter. This game originally scheduled for September 16th, postponed because of Hurricane Irma. We thought we might have hurricane conditions 2 days ago here, but it's been sunny skies most of the day. And they run the ball. Nice hole. Akers bouncing off tacklers. And he's free at midfield. Into Cane territory. The true freshman, not the quarterback, but it's Akers with the big play here in the fourth quarter.
This has been Florida State's bread and butter all day. Under center, downhill, rushing attack. And Cam Akers in the open field starting to deliver on all that promise that he had coming out of high school as one of the top-ranked players in the country. What a great play by the Noles offense.
46 yards. And what did Jimbo tell us yesterday? Just keep trying between the tackles. Even though he didn't get anything there, you're going to finally break one. And he did. It'll be second and long, though, after Quarterman made the tackle. At the 31-yard line, Jimbo Fisher has never lost back-to-back home games since taking over. They played NC State on September 23rd, lost that game. Their lone win came on the road last week at Wake Forest. Fisher, you see the demonstrative conversation with his quarterback, James Blackman, who made incredible strides since training camp. Going into the year thinking he was going to be the backup until Francois' injury. Blackman throws here, and it's caught for a first down inside the 20 by George Campbell all the way to the 15.
You know what? We're watching James Blackman there still doing everything at the line of scrimmage. And as you just referenced, when head coach Jimbo Fisher coaches him, he coaches him hard. He doesn't coach him like he's a freshman. He doesn't coddle him. And this young man maintains the same level of composure, the same body language, and the same facial expression, whether he's getting complimented or whether he's getting ripped.
Blackman has him at the 15-yard line. Back to Akers. Hit in the backfield. Down he goes. A loss of 1 on the play. Quarterman drills him first and then taken down after by 2 more Canes.
And Tom, this is where Florida State has struggled in the red zone. They've been very good when it comes to converting field goals, no denying that. But in their last 13 red zone penetrations, only 3 touchdowns. They got to get 7 here, obviously, against a great defense.
Blackman hit as he throws, nearly intercepted as Jaquan Johnson stepped in front. Auden Tate, I'm trying to remember the last time he was targeted, if at all, in this game. They tried to get it to him there.
Yeah, Auden Tate has taken a back seat to some of the other great players on this Florida State team. Jimbo not happy on the sideline as his team gets ready to take on a 3rd and 10. The red zone woes continue if you look at 1st and 2nd down.
And he predetermined that throw, Greg.
Yeah, he did.
Chad Thomas did have some pressure in the face of the quarterback. From the 15 of Miami. 4-man rush for the Hurricanes. Blackman, wide open, touchdown, Izzo! Blackman gets it done on 3rd and 10, and the Noles have a chance to tie. First touchdown of the season for Izzo. Ricky Aguayo on to tie it at 10. New game with 12:17 to go.
Jimbo said this kid has it. The ability to bounce back after a bad decision. Comes right back, throws a strike. We got a ball game in Tallahassee.
They have come alive here at Doak Campbell, and not just in the stands, on the sideline. And the quarterback, James Blackman, after Jimbo Fisher has a lengthy conversation with him, trying to encourage him while also pointing out flaws from the previous couple plays, throws a dart. And we have a tie game with 12:17 to go. Here's DJ Dallas for the Canes. And he's up to the 20, and a penalty marker comes flying in. And now Malik Rosier. It's his turn. as the Canes are backed up at their 9. They're just going to hand it off here to Travis Homer. Runs out of real estate near the 15. That's interesting you mentioned that because, a couple days ago, we're flying in here to Tallahassee, and there was talk they might move this game again. Maybe move the start time up or move it a day earlier. They stuck with the 3:30 kick. And blue skies.
Knock on wood.
They got a ways to go. It is supposed to rain later tonight with Hurricane Nate expected to make landfall along the Gulf Coast. Rosier and Von Richards headed upfield. That pass was toward the sideline, and so it's 3rd down and 5. Richards shaking his head like, what are you doing?
Really good job there by Tavares McFadden, number 4, the corner down here. Greg, they were going to do a corner blitz. Malik Rosier, the Miami quarterback, he checks out of it, but then Charles Keller, the defensive coordinator, standing right next to me here, he checks out of the corner blitz, confuses the quarterback. Win on defense for Florida State.
That's algebra. That's advanced algebra right there. Being able to check and adjust defensively when chaos is going on.
Rosier to throw on 3rd down. Richards. Oh, he almost caught it. McFadden in coverage. That throw is there by Rosier, but Von Richards could not hang on. It's 4th down.
Good coverage by McFadden. You see the contact. I know Miami fans are probably looking at that screaming, saying that's too much. The ball's in the air. And more often than not, in a bang-bang play like that, you're never going to get the call. It was a well-thrown ball, a decent route, just great coverage by the All-American defender.
Figo's last kick was not good. This one is much better. McFadden has to back up. Fields it at his 38. Gets out of a tackle. McFadden breaks another one. And he won't get away, though, on this time. Tackled at the 35. It's Mark Walton on special teams making a great play. And you think about it, all the great talent that's come out of these two schools, the kicking game has defined this series. And I'm not going to try to diagnose what goes on in the mind of a kicker, but you wonder, those two guys we just saw, are they thinking about the history of this rivalry? Long throw by Blackman, pulled in Miami territory for a 1st down by Murray. And a tie game here at 10 apiece. Under 11 minutes to go. Florida State in Miami territory. He'll throw it here. And he's got Tate for another 1st down. Tate inside the 30, down to near the 25. How about that laser?
Wow. What a great throw and a great read by Blackman. Seeing rotation and flow. And he finds this window right around number 33, Trent Harris for Miami. That was an absolute missile coming out of the hand of James Blackman.
That had flames on it, bro.
I haven't seen anything thrown like that in the playoffs for baseball are going on.
Blackman throwing it out here, and it's dropped. Was that behind the line? They haven't signaled yet whether it was a forward pass. Murray with a smart play to jump on the ball, and it looks like they're going to say it was a backwards pass, so it's a loss of 4 on the play.
No, Greg and Dave, go back to our discussion with Jimbo this week, and he talked to us about how he thinks completion percentage is overrated. He puts more stock in whether or not you make the key play at the key moment when it matters most. And that last 3rd down throw right there to Auden Tate was a prime example of what he was describing to us when describing James Blackman.
And let's keep in perspective the defense he's going against. These Miami defenders are absolutely outstanding. He's been up to the task so far.
On 2nd and 14, Akers. Beautiful move by Akers. A helmet goes flying off at the 25-yard line. And it's Akers who lost his lid. He's going to have to come out for a play.
That's the 2nd time that Akers' helmet has come off. But he goodness, look at that little stutter. And to get vertical, that is a big-time move there at the line of scrimmage. It was well defended. Just a missed tackle by the Cane defense.
Yeah, he shook Pinckney, and then it was Quarterman that hit him up high and knocked the helmet off. 3rd and 8 from the 25-yard line. It would be about a 42-yard field goal try from here for FSU. And they're going to just run Patrick, and he'll get tackled at the 21. So it's a gain of 4. And so Ricky Aguayo, whose brother obviously played here, had some trouble in the NFL, was cut by the Bucs, picked up by the Bears, and then was released again. Ricky's been solid this year, making 8 straight coming into the game, and then made one earlier in this one. So it'll be a 38-yard attempt to give Florida State the lead. No problem for Aguayo. Pressure didn't get to the sophomore. Ricky Aguayo making his 10th consecutive field goal. Splits the uprights to give the Noles a 3-point lead. Florida State has taken a 3-point lead over Miami here in Tallahassee, trying to knock off the unbeaten Canes. Tyler's kick sails out of bounds. It's a touchback. From the Cane 25. Rosier pulls it down, gets leveled as he throws, and he completes it to Berrios, who's made every play for Miami today. A 15-yard pickup.
What a great throw by Malik Rosier. Getting him outside the pocket. He has a defender barreling down. He knows he's going to get hit. He delivers a strike to his security blanket, Berrios, on the over route. Well executed. Great drive start for this Hurricane offense.
See, 5 catches today for Berrios. He had 12 all of last year. McFadden looks like he might be coming on a blitz. There he is, number 4 for Florida State. Rosier recognizes it, and wide open is Herndon, the tight end, into Florida State territory. Stiff arms the defender all the way down to the 22.
It's a great job by Malik Rosier again, recognizing the vacated space on the left-hand side as a result of the corner tap and finding big completion.
37 yards. Here's Herndon again, knocked down inside the 15-yard line. Remember last year, David Njoku was the go-to guy at the tight end position. He was a first-round draft pick of the Browns, and so Herndon has become a popular target on this drive and the season. 8 of 9 on that last play.
This has been an incredible answer to this point by this Miami offense.
61 quick yards for Rosier through the air, 2nd and 1. Walton finds running room inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for the Canes. Walton went down awkwardly, wrestled to the ground by Jacob Pugh. Walton battling an ankle injury, has not been 100% this year, but he's toughed it out. We saw him on special teams make a big tackle.
Look at Walton as he goes to the ground. It's very awkward the way he landed. One more time. See that right leg kind of roll under the defender Pugh.
So you got Homer in for the injured Walton. You got Corey Gaynor, a true freshman, in for Donaldson, who just left with an injury. 1st and goal for Miami at the Florida State 7. Canes looking to take the lead on this drive. Rosier going to take off, and he gets to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard. He lost his helmet. How about this? He's going to have to come out for a play. You lose your quarterback unless you burn a timeout here. How is Mark Richt going to handle this? Does he call a timeout?
Yeah, it's a critical down. And Mark Richt is.
He is. He's going to call timeout.
He's going to. He had.
Yep.
So Rick opting to burn the timeout to keep Rosier in the game, and it's a big moment for this young man early in his career. A junior, but not a lot of starts under his belt. His career can be defined by the next 5 minutes.
Rosier to the air, lobs it, end zone. Berrios! He got it! Touchdown! Miami back in front. How about this kid? Braxton Berrios has made every play for the Hurricanes today.
What a stud. Let's make sure he secures it, of course. Clearly in bounds, feet down, ball doesn't move. Touchdown, Canes. What an answer. After all the momentum seemed to have gone to the sideline of the Seminoles. Incredible stuff right there from Berrios and Rosier.
The point after makes it a 4-point Miami game. Remember, it was 3-0 at halftime. Still a lot of time, though, for Florida State. And they will start on their 25. But enough time here for Florida State to mark down. Miami bringing pressure. And that pass is caught. Izzo, who had the touchdown earlier, out near the 40-yard line as we check. Will Miami hold on, Adnan? Florida State with a good play to start this drive out to its 39-yard line. Blackman to throw again. Here's Patrick. Patrick able to break a couple tackles and just power his way near the line to gain. He's playing hurt as well, shaken up in the first half, trying to fight through the pain here in this rivalry game.
I'll tell you what, it's been physical today. And man, it's been fun to watch. James Blackman, the freshman. Just watch Malik Rosier go right down the field for the go-ahead score. He says, now I get my chance. Off to a good start with 2 quick completions.
Both guys making their first starts in this rivalry game have really settled down since halftime. Akers gets the call and picks up the first down. Almost like they're feeding off each other. Both guys settling down when in the first half they really struggled to throw the football and just complete passes.
Yeah, if you combine the two on the last couple drives, they're 11 of 12 between the two of them. I mean, they are really on fire, these two quarterbacks, trying to lead their team to victory.
They're stretching out that neck of Rosier after he took that shot near the goal line. Blackman pumps, runs, and gets positive yardage. Smart decision. That's what Jimbo Fisher talking about with us yesterday. He's just grown by leaps and bounds in that regard. Yeah, we saw some mistakes earlier. Made the right call there.
And you're going to have some peaks and valleys as a freshman. You're a young player. Everything that you're seeing for the first time. But it's how you respond to the negative plays and how you continue to ascend after the positive plays. Staying consistent is the most important thing for this young kid moving forward.
Only one incompletion in his last 3 possessions. Over the middle, it's pulled in by Auden Tate, making an appearance here in the 4th quarter. Tate battling a shoulder injury, made a couple of huge plays. This one goes for 15 yards as Tate's slow to get up. Tate staying in, though. Left shoulder injury against NC State. Caught the game-winning touchdown last week and wants another one here with Florida State on the move. Inside 3 to play on the Miami 31-yard line. Blackman has to step up, wrapped up and sacked at the 37. Trent Harris takes him down. Pinkney had pressure initially for Miami.
That is a big-time play by this Miami defense. This offense for Florida State was getting into a bit of a rhythm. And they pin their ears back and they get after the quarterback to set Florida State behind the sticks. It's a great job by this pass rush from Miami, but none of us should be surprised. They're one of the best in the business at affecting the quarterback.
Blackman hangs in the pocket, and it's pulled in by Murray, and Nooney is near the 20-yard line. Johnson with the hit, gain of 15, so it's 3rd and short. How do you handle this if you're Jimbo Fisher?
Well, it's obviously 4-down territory. Knowing that it's a 4-point game, a field goal does nothing for you. So I'm running the football with number 3, Cam Akers.
And Akers gets the call and able to muscle his way past the line to gain. The ball comes out. It's in the arms of McIntosh, but they ruled it forward. Progress was stopped at the 20-yard line. First down, Florida State. Minute 45 to go and 2 timeouts. We'll stop the clock to reset the chains.
Calling on your offensive line to make a big play right there. No indecision by Jimbo Fisher. You nailed it, Greg. Give it to the young freshman. You've got a true freshman at tailback, a true freshman at quarterback, and a much maligned offensive front that right now is playing their hearts out in the most important portion of the game.
See if they give it to him again. Play action. There's a receiver wide open. It's Cade. Touchdown FSU. He comes back in a big way with the go-ahead score. Maybe Miami thought he was still on the sideline. Can barely lift his left arm because of the shoulder injury. DeAndre Francois out for the season. Congratulating Justin Blackman on another dart. Auden Tate potentially back-to-back game-winning touchdowns. The point after makes it a 3-point game. A minute 24 to go. 2 timeouts left for the Canes.
Great back and forth. This time, Auden Tate just running to the corner, and you're going to see him sneak out into the flats coming off the motion. Now, there's confusion in the secondary for Miami. We've seen this time and time and time again over the course of the first 4 games of this season. Inexperience in the back end for the Hurricanes comes back to get them there as they let the best wide receiver for Florida State run free for the go-ahead score. But how about this true freshman?
James Blackman with 2 touchdown passes here in the 4th quarter, completing 10 of his last 11 throws. Just when you think Miami's going to end that streak, losing 7 in a row, the Noles drive down the field to take the lead. But again, enough time, and all they need is a field goal to tie. The juice is flowing on the kickoff. That hit the crossbar. This place jumping now with this Noles trying to end Miami's 8-game overall win streak and extend Jimbo Fisher's record as Florida State head coach to 8-0 against Miami.
This is what it's all about, boys.
Rosier to throw on first down. His pass tipped by Sweat. Incomplete. Josh Sweat at 6'5". Hard to get it over him. He's had 2 knockdowns today. Another pass coming by Rosier, going to the sideline to Berrios. He was knocked out of bounds. There's no force-out rule. It was just a good play by Myers to push Berrios out.
Great play by Myers. You see Berrios extending, but clearly lands out of bounds. Coverage has been extremely tight in the back end by Florida State. These last couple snaps, they are dialed into this 2-minute offense for Miami.
And the Canes just 5 of 15 on 3rd down. They have to get to the 35-yard line. Rosier steps up, and the receiver, Berrios, comes free for the first down. Why not? Try him again. He's shaken up, but it's a fresh set of downs for Miami, gain of 16.
Keep in mind, you only need a field goal if you're Malik Rosier. Understanding that you still have 2 timeouts to work with, so it's not imperative that you work the sideline yet.
Inside a minute to go, Homer running, and he's into Florida State territory. Got the first down, so the clock will stop as they reset the chains. 48 seconds to go. Miami has 2 timeouts left. Will it come down to a field goal again? Miami, Florida State. Last year, a blocked extra point by FSU on Badgley won the game. They're going to run it again. Homer breaks a tackle, and he is in Badgley's field goal range. He's at the 34-yard line. Again, the clock stops to reset the chains, and they can hold their timeouts after a 14-yard pickup. Badgley's long this season is 50. For his career, he's never missed between 40 and 49 yards. Rosier going to take a shot. The receiver falls down. They rule incidental contact. Cager got tangled up with McFadden. 23 seconds left.
That was well played, guys. I'm standing right in front of that one. Incidental contact. 2 guys trying to position themselves. And Tavares McFadden did a great job forcing Cager to the sideline. They just get tripped up.
How do you handle this, Greg? Do you run the football in this situation with 23 seconds left? Try to get a little bit closer?
I'd try to throw it. I would try to find Braxton Berrios and then potentially run it on 3rd down and try to make the field goal a little bit more manageable and center it.
Be a 53-yarder from here. Rosier airing it out. Cager can't get free from McFadden. Again, 19 seconds left. 3rd and 10. Got to run the ball right. You got to try to get 4 or 5 yards here.
Now this is where I'd run it, because not only would I try to make the field goal a little bit more manageable, obviously looking at a plus 50-yard field goal right now where the ball currently sits, but I could also center the football too for the field goal kicker.
And he's going to throw it on 3rd and long. Berrios on the catch. Breaks the tackle, picks up the first down, and out of bounds with 11 seconds to go at the 23-yard line. It'd be about a 40-yard try from here. They have the opportunity to run probably 1, maybe 2 more plays if they choose.
And you see Mark Richt telling him, be smart with the football.
Got to take an end zone shot, right?
Might as well take one.
At this point?
Absolutely.
If you're in field goal range,
absolutely can't get sacked, though. Ball's got to come out of your hands immediately.
Although they do have that 1 timeout left. Rosier going to take a shot, and it is caught into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami! Darrell Langham with the grab. Canes in front. 6 seconds left. There is a penalty marker down at the 2-yard line.
On the field is a touchdown after the play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Miami.
How about that? They take the shot. Mark Richt uses the clock perfectly there. And Malik Rosier with a beautiful throw. Langham with the catch. And is he down? Well, his knee's down. The question is, does the ball cross the plane? Ruling on the field is a touchdown. Has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the Miami score.
Man, it's close. Wow. It is so tough to tell from that angle.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
And there it is. Darrell Langham, 3 catches all season. First time we've called his number today is the biggest play of the day. Miami 6 seconds away from ending the 7-game losing streak to Florida State. Badgley to make it a 4-point lead. He was thinking he was going to have to come out and try a long field goal. Instead, he's just out there for the extra point to make it a 4-point game.
Just one-on-one coverage. 11 seconds left. Rosier knows he still has a touchdown in his hip pocket. But you got to think to yourself, as a quarterback, let's try to win this thing in regulation and not leave it to chance. Let me find my big 6'4", 220-pound wide receiver in a one-on-one situation and throw a perfect back shoulder and allow that forward momentum to drag the defender into the end zone. Just a motion all around on both sidelines.
Guys, get ready for laterals. It was 2 years ago in Malik Rosier's first start. Miami, with a bunch of laterals, ended up beating Duke. They kick it deep. There are 2 seconds left. Here's DJ Matthews, and he's still going. And oh, he could have lateraled it. He kept hold of the ball. He goes down, and the game is over. Miami ends the streak. Florida State's 7-game win streak over the Hurricanes is over. Miami stays undefeated. The Canes win in Tallahassee. On to Bama, A&M, and Joe Tess. Thank you very much.